Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video focusing on panic attacks. This wasn't planned to be my next video. I wanted to talk about medication that I take, but I have had quite a lot of panic attacks recently in the last few days, and I thought, whilst it's still fresh in my mind and it's still very raw, I thought I would make a video about it and how I feel back and possible things that help me during those times. So the last 3 evenings I have had some not very nice panic attacks. I was physically ill for about a week, and it lowered my mood and made me quite depressed. Panic attacks are really hard to go through. It's not a very nice thing. If you ask anyone that's had panic attacks, or you've had panic attacks yourself, you'll know it's not a very nice thing to experience. The other night when I was having one, I was really tempted to get this camera out and start filming. I nearly did do that, but I was so weak and I didn't have the strength to actually get up off the sofa and manage to grab my camera. But in future, if I go for anything like that again, I think it will be a good idea to get the camera out and start filming, just to show people, or just to, you know, express how I'm feeling in that moment and kind of document it, I guess. I wrote down on my phone some symptoms. So I just want to talk you through how I feel when I'm having one and how I felt the other evening. And the first thing that I feel is a sense of panic, and I was just sat on the sofa, I was watching TV, I felt very relaxed, and I was enjoying my evening, just chilling out, relaxing, and I suddenly just had this feeling, and it always starts in my chest, and it's a feeling of tightness of the chest and a sense of panic, and I can feel it coming on, and I just try and ignore it, but it's really hard because it suddenly starts getting worse and starts to take over. So I just try and focus on it and try to calm it down myself, because I start noticing my breathing gets quite fast. So I try and control my breathing and do some deep breaths, which sometimes helps a lot. And they say that breathing is really good for things like panic attacks and anxiety. So I always try and do some deep breathing. And then quite often, because I'm doing deep breathing, I start to go lightheaded and I feel quite dizzy, and that can then make me panic even more, because as a kid I used to suffer a lot with dizziness and labyrinthitis, which is to do with your inner ear. So when I feel dizzy, I instantly sort of panic anyway, even if I'm not having a panic attack. So when I do feel dizzy and I'm in this situation, it does kind of make it worse. I get like pins and needles in my arms, and my skin can feel quite numb sometimes, which is quite a weird sensation, but I've heard that's quite a common thing. And I can start shaking as well. I notice that my hands are sort of shaky, and if I try and grab anything, or I'm trying to, you know, pick anything up like my phone or something, my hands are really shaky and I feel really weak as well. So it's not very nice. And quite often I get really tearful. I start feeling sort of upset. It like upsets me because it takes me by surprise, and I sort of get quite tearful and I feel very vulnerable. And then from that I then start feeling quite frustrated at the same time, and I get quite angry, and I'm like, why am I having this? Like, why do I feel like this? This is not fair. And sort of my mind sort of then goes overtime. And of course, all those thoughts don't help the situation at all. But quite often when I'm having a panic attack, I won't call for help. My husband will be upstairs and I won't call for him. I just tend to get on with it myself. I find that being on my own helps, because if I had to try and explain it to somebody while feeling like that, I wouldn't be able to. There is quite a lot of things that you can do to help with panic attacks. There's a lot of books out there that you can read that are really good, that give you tips and advice on what to do in those hard times. I always find that if I have a candle lit, or I have something like a diffuser, which I have, that really helps. I normally put lavender oil in the diffuser and that really relaxes me. But quite often when I'm in that state and I'm in total panic and I feel really ill, I do result in having to take diazepam, Valium. Much of it, I only take 4 milligrams, but that helps me. That just takes the edge off, it calms me down, and I'm able then to go to sleep quite easily. It just stops me feeling panicked and it stops my heart racing. But I also try to drink water. If I drink tea or anything with caffeine in it, that sometimes makes it worse. So I always try to drink water. I have this water bottle, which was is a Brita filter water bottle, so it's got a little filter in it. I hate the taste of tap water. I don't like what's in tap water, so I use this and it's really good. If you haven't got one, I recommend it. They're brilliant, and I think they're only about £14, something like that, 14, 15 pounds, so not much, but they are really good. I always try and do something that takes my mind off it. I know the last few times I've been watching TV and my mind hasn't been on anything and I've had a panic attack, but then I try to either listen to some music or try writing things down. I like writing. Yeah, do things that make you feel good and make you feel relaxed. Everybody's different. What you have to remember with panic attacks is that you aren't going to die. It's not going to kill you, and for a lot of people that can be really challenging to think that, because I know a lot of people do actually feel like they're going to die, or they feel like they're having a heart attack, and I'm really lucky that I've never felt like that. I've only just, you know, felt ill in the moment and felt not very nice, but I always know I'm going to get through it. And you know, if you do suffer with things like this, talk about it. You know, tell people around you that you do suffer with those sorts of things, and don't beat yourself up when you do go through that. I always find it takes me a good day or two to get over it after, and I don't have anything planned. I just rest up completely and allow my body to get over that, because it, you know, it can be very, very stressful. And as you know, when you're stressed, you can then, you know, get certain illnesses and things like that, or get a cold or flu and things like that. So try and be mindful, and try not to let it affect you in a really bad way. Just sort of accept it, and try to do your best when you're going through something like that to put yourself at ease and not to worry. Have a look at what places that you can ring if you feel like that. I know sometimes when you do feel that way, you don't want to ring anybody because it can make you feel more anxious, and that's fine. But you know, if you do need the help, don't be worried to ask for it. There's so many people that, you know, will understand, you're not alone in dealing with this. There's lots of people out there that have it and go through it, and you're not alone.